Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk.
What's up, everybody? Big Herc, getting down with Fresh Out. You're tuning into another edition of Prison Talk, but this is more like chopping it up with Big Herc. I got the homie Big Caz, who you guys have seen his past interviews, you know, Bone Thugs and Harmony, you know, the whole nine. You know, we're gonna chop it up a little bit and just talk about some stuff, you know, life in general. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, you're tuned in, share it with your friends, all that good shit, and watch this. So Caz, man, how'd you get involved with the Rollin 60s Crip gang, man? And you know, what was that like, man? How did that come about?
Before I give you that answer, I want to touch on something real quick. One, I thank you for having me back. I thank you more for having this channel where folks, when they see it, I don't think they understand the dynamics what you brought, because it's life after. I watch some of these shows and this dude's on heroin. I don't want to be depressed.
Yeah, exactly.
Show me a motherfucker that got out of prison, and I wouldn't care if he works at Chipotle, but he's doing something. So one, again, I thank you for having this show, man. And I was, probably one of the third?
Yeah. He's back when we first kicked this shit off. That's been about almost 6 years?
No.
5 years? 5 years, huh?
Yeah. It was 2013.
Yeah, 2013 when we first started.
And me and this cat have known each other for some years. And I'll get to that answer in a second. But something I want to say to y'all. You little fuck boys that make comments when Herc talks about his episodes of busting cheeks. That's a prison saying. Let me tell you, when you make them little homosexual comments about my man, what you don't understand, he will bust your motherfucking mouth wide open. He ain't gay. He's got the most beautiful wife in the whole wide world. He's a successful businessman, and he will bust your motherfucking mouth wide open. I met you when you had just came home.
Yeah, I was still on probation.
You were renting a room, I think.
Yeah.
So he's a hustler, and you don't meet too many cats from Sacramento or whatever. Like, he's got a United type hustle. So can I get that $20 for that plug?
Yeah.
but through it, keep talking that shit, because the easiest thing in the world is to come up to him and say it. Then I want you to post on YouTube how you got up out of it after you flushed your motherfucking mouth. I grew up on 3rd Ave and 52nd. You know, my mother was this white prostitute that took us all over, and she had a, favorable for the brothers. Mm-hmm. And probably at about 9, I moved on 3rd Ave, and at that time it was just the Slawsons, the Arlingtons. There wasn't no hood yet. Mm-hmm. There wasn't no sets. And I remember when they first started talking about the Rollin 60s, we all hung up at Van Ness Park, and there was Bloods, but there wasn't no sets. Mm-hmm. And but then when there started being sets, there'd be the V&Gs there, the 60s would be there, and there really wasn't no issues. Right at about 12 years old, I remember the homie Petey Wack would go through the blocks, because I lived on the funny thing about my street, I live on 3rd Ave and 52nd. That's the Crips side. If you go to the corner, 53rd and 3rd Avenue, I'm literally talking 8 houses. Mm. That's a blood street. Mm. So you got to get past that street to get back to the 60s. So, but you played Pop Warner with these cats. You grew up with them, so that was that understanding. But Petey Wack would come through the block, and I remember him coming through on a I think it was a 10-speed. He was on the handlebars with the homie Butchie, and he was like, "I'm putting niggas on," and I was 12. And I remember at that time I lived with my birth family, or maybe 11. And they packed me out, and my sister runs out. She's like, "You jumping on my brother." She's not knowing I'm getting put on. So she's trying to fight Marvin, Tony, Petey Wack, everybody. And I'm like, "No, I'm getting put on." And she's like, you gonna get beat up to get put on? What kind of ignorance is that? I was like, I don't know, but I'm from Rollin 60s now. But, you know, it was, to me, it was that rites of passage. You know, you felt like you were a part of something. And in the end, at 50 years of age, would I do anything different? No. You know, I found enjoyment in it, but it also put me in prison, you know, put me in getting shot. And there's no paycheck for this shit. At least with the motorcycle world, I get to ride my motorcycle.
Yeah.
In the gangbanging world is get out where you can and get back home the way you can.
Yeah.
But, you know, and what transitioned me over to the music industry was Ice-T.
Okay.
You know, he lived 2 blocks from me. And people used to always say, man, you look just like, well, first they were like, you look like Big Caz. Kevin, rest in peace. But they're like, you look just like Tracy. And Ice-T used to hang out at this elementary school called Angeles Mesa. And I was his Catholic school. I went to Catholic school. Good Latin boy at a Catholic school. Got kicked out of there. So they sent me to Angeles Mesa, which is literally around the corner. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to a hood school. And I see Ice-T up there playing basketball on some tailor-made slacks. I don't know if you remember the tailor-made. There's some niggas on Soul Train you see wearing with the buckles. And he had the perm and that satin shirt that was sweating his ass off. And they were called Mesa Bow Hustlers. And I finally meet Ice through this cat named Duro from the hood, Lil D. And he's like, this nigga look like your brother. And for years, he would try to get me to hang around him. And I'm like, the niggas that are hanging around you are broke. You a hustler, but these niggas are broke. And people don't realize I didn't get into the music business. I was already like 30 years old.
How old were you when you met Ice?
12.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So he was like he's like an OG best back.
Yeah, people, you know, listen, I love you, Tracy. I love you to death, but you're not from 60s. I just been, you know, we're too old for this now. And even the homie Big U and Nipsey, we joked about it because he was doing an interview on Drink Champs.
I seen that. I watched that interview.
He ain't no punk, but you ain't from the turf.
Yeah.
You know, Ice is one of those honorary. Could have been from 40s, could have been from 60s.
Okay.
He's not from 60s. But
he associated with 60s.
yes,
Okay.
that's my big brother. But he was never. You know, some cats can become a 60 without getting put on. You know, it's how you rocked it. But he never did any of that. He was a booster. Ice-T was a booster. Even when he was trying to get in the music business, to fast forward a little bit, he always taught me stay independent. Ice-T only had one record deal, Warner Brothers. Before that, he was independent. Then he went to Warner Brothers, and then he went back to being independent. And I finally had came home from prison. Every time I come home from prison, I would stop by wherever he's living. And him and Darlene were living on Franklin and La Brea.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right there
in Hollywood.
There's a subway right there. And I knew I think Evil E, his DJ, told me, he still lives over there. I just happened to turn. I was going to go do what I do. And I look, and he's out there with the bulldog and Darlene walking the dogs outside. And I jump out, and right away, every time he see me, he go like this, you just came home from prison, didn't you? Because I'd have some size on me. You know, when you first come home, arms like, you remember when we went to juvie, arms was like 15, 16. That this time, this was my last, well, not my last get down, from the stint that you did on me. Now I'm like sitting on some dubs, and you're like, nigga, you just came home from prison. And same, long hair, green eyes, same. And he's like, man, you going on the road with me? The fuck, I'm not. Those same niggas you hung with are still living at home. They got BMWs and Mercedes, but they still live at home.
Yeah.
I was selling dope. I wasn't thinking about no rapping. And I BS you not, I'm sitting at Evil E and Hen G's house. And quietly, with my boy Poppy, I wrote a rap. And because he's like, with your voice, blah, blah, blah. And I wrote this rap, Herc, to date, in 2000, what are we, in 18?
Yeah.
I don't remember. His wife just looked at me like, you don't know what year it is? So I wrote this rhyme, and I don't know how to count bars. You know, bars is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3. I know what the fuck a bar was. I must have did a verse that lasted for like 5 minutes. And I think the homies was too scared to say something to me, because I'm like, You like the dope rhythm I gave you, crave for the lyrical bass, but be on your best behavior. Because once I step, that's it. There's nothing. I'm just going.
Yeah.
And Ice went, Caz, could you? He said, could you just? I was like, what? What's up? What's up, cuz? You're late. He's like, no, that shit was dope, but where's the hook?
Yeah.
What's that? He's like, when you listen to my music, where I say what the song is about.
Yeah.
Oh, cause I was gonna get to that.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but you gotta get to that. Usually within 8 to 16 bars.
Yeah.
So at that point, I knew I never wanted to even know what bars were. I never even wrote, to that date, I never wrote another rhyme down. I would tell the producer, which was SLJ, Ice-T's producer, I would say, let me know where to stop. And I never wrote another lyric down after that. If the beat came on, I would think, all my albums were named after fighting. Thunderdome, Hood Hits, Last Round. So I would listen to the beat and go, now would I knock a nigga's teeth out on that song? Would I be chasing them? You know what I mean? And that's how I would end up doing the song. So then, remember Lazy Bone was like, could you do something about the women? It don't sound like you beat nobody up. I was like, damn, a love song? That's gonna be a little hard. But you know, he taught me, and I ended up hooking up with, I stayed on the road with Ice-T for a couple years. I went back to jail, and I'm gonna give you a picture for you to post on this of him picking me up. Him and Lazy Bone picking me up from prison. I'm still in my jumpsuit. And he took me straight to the studio, and I ended up getting a deal through my manager, Steve Lobel. Before the album was even done, I was on the road with Bone Thugs and Harmony, and I was a part of Mo Thugs.
So how they put you up with them? Lazy Bone, kind of like, I mean, because I remember they had Bone Thugs, and they had, what is it?
Mo Thugs was first.
Okay.
Then Bone. So
Okay.
that story, I'll make it short, because it'll probably be for a whole nother show. I robbed Busy Bone.
Yeah.
So
They were still down with Easy at the time?
Battle Cat, it took me, I lived in the valley out here, and Battle Cat, it took me, and my homie Ice, Big Ice, rest in peace, not Ice-T. He took me to swap meet because I had no money. I just came home from jail, and it was my daughter's birthday. So he took me to swap meet, and Lazy's even validated this story. So, you know, cats watch this shit and be like, you're right. Watch it all, dummy. And folks that follow Bone, that do know this story because Lazy, I go to the swap meet and I see all these dudes in red. Again, I wasn't thinking about rapping. And I did a little bit, like I said, then I went back to jail. And I'm like, cuz I'm 6'0", because I see Battle Cat talking to him. And Battle Cat is my childhood friend. I grew up on 3rd Ave, he grew up on 2nd, Arlington. He's like, nah, this is a group called Bone. Bone? Like Blackstone Bone? Like, you know, ignorant, just complete ignorant. The lighter you are, the more crazy you gotta seem like you gotta be. And I remember I'm like, fuck that, cuz. And they buying jewelry, big ropes. And what was the Turkish?
Remember the Turkish, yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, the Turkish chain.
Those and the diamond cut ones. And I go down this aisle to get my daughter like a little play set. And who's on the aisle with me? Just me and him. It was literally like a Western, like Lazy Bone walking my way by himself. And you can see him look like, and I'm like 265 at the time, retarded. And right when he gets close, I'm like, cuz what that 6'0" Crip like? He went, nothing. And turned the other way. Well, I saw them buying the jewelry, and I heard Battle Cat, and I heard him say, we going over to Fat Burgers. And I caught him over at Fat Burgers and brought Busy for his chain. That same day, the only person that came to the hood, and if you search this on YouTube, it's a video of me and Lazy Bone. Lazy Bone came to the hood to buy the chain back. And he came by himself. He had remember the excursion trucks? He had a brown excursion truck I ended up buying off him later. And he came by himself. He ended up calling Battle Cat. Battle Cat was like, Caz, man. Because I just left by myself.
Yeah.
Dropped my daughter's gift off. I was like, I'm going to find these niggas. And they were across the street at Fatburger. They went to the Beverly Center and then Fatburger in La Cienega.
Yeah, right there.
You always hear jail felony talking about, I'll get you jacked on Fatburger in La Cienega. That's what jail was referring to.
Okay.
So he showed up, and we won't go further because he didn't go further. No charge, gave him the chain back.
Yeah. I
ended up in the studio with Lazy that Wednesday. And we did a song with Ice-T called Pretty Boys. And the rest was, he was like, man, I'm going to take you on the road with me. And I took Booyah Tribe on the road with me.
Okay.
Because Lazy was always a fan of, I was always cool with Lazy. Lazy was like my brother.
Okay.
And we would say brother, and people really believe we're brothers. Me and Crazy Bone didn't start off so well. He owed somebody some money. I collected the money, and years later, I remember apologizing Crazy, like, I'm sorry, but I had to do it. You know. And then I ended up being managed by Steve Lobel, who never collected a percentage off me. You know, and Steve now runs with Big U, helps Nipsey. Now he's got Scott Storch. Steve's that big money.
Yeah.
But he first time took me to New York, took me to Miami. I just caught an assault with deadly intent the day before, and I was supposed to go to Miami to accept a plaque for second best-selling independent album. And I was signed to, I don't remember the label, same label Trick Daddy was signed to, and they were dirtbags. And with MC Search from Third Base.
Oh, yeah. I remember MC. Okay.
And like I said, man, we can do a whole nother show. We can do 5 different shows on this one. And took me to Miami. It bailed me out. And who bailed me out was Puffy. Search got the money from Puffy. Searchlight. That was the name of the label.
Okay.
Remember what Jay-Z says? I know who I paid, God, Searchlight Publishing.
Yeah.
When Jay-Z dissed Nas, that's what people don't realize. Nas used to be signed to Search from Third Base.
Oh.
That's why Jay-Z said, I know who I paid, God, Search from Searchlight Publishing. So Search was signed to Warlock, who Trick Daddy was signed to.
Okay, I remember Warlock.
Warlock would fund money, but Search ended up with Nas, me, some Bone stuff. Warlock didn't want to give him all that money, so Puffy started. And long story short, Puffy bailed me out. I got to Miami like 1 a.m. And it was just on after that. It was, you know, I never ever toured alone. It was always with Bone.
Okay.
And in 2012, I just walked off stage, and I've not seen an Air member. Not one.
None of them, huh?
None.
But you still...
I own Mo Thugs.
Yeah. I just want to let people know because they, you know what I'm saying, he still, even though he ain't got to go on tour, he's still getting paid.
I bought... Lazy asked me to take over Mo Thugs in 2007. People don't realize Bone Thugs and Harmony is the biggest selling rap group in the world. Sold more than Jay-Z, the biggest. But when you got, I don't want to put their business out there, but when you got child support and taxes, so the license, what people don't realize, from 96 to 2007, Bone Thugs and Harmony has never, ever gotten a royalty check.
Damn.
Ever. So I was just watching a thing on New Edition. New Edition to this day still has never seen a royalty check.
That's crazy. So
if you don't write nothing, if you do write it, but you sign off your publishing. So imagine Eazy-E dies, rest in peace, and the wife is now who you're paying. She ended up.
So she's getting all the publishing.
She ended up owning Ruthless. So in 2007, I got down to the courthouse at 7 that morning with me, the homie Big Crazo, and Big Ice. Ruthless had them big Samoans, Paul and Tom or whatever.
Yeah, and
Samoans,
big,
yes.
yeah, the twins.
Yeah, the twins.
Yeah.
I think the names were Paul or
So something like that with Big Man.
Yeah, and I got to the desk first at the tax place. I won't say what I put up, but I ended up taking it over. I was the co-owner. Lazy was the owner. First time, I'm going to say this and then we can move on. I made them $1 million in less than 6 months. Where they actually saw money. I ended up doing a deal. Steve got me a deal with this company called Cleopatra, who had Motorhead.
Okay, yeah.
Megadeth, had them.
A lot of heavy metal band, yeah.
Yes. Brian Pereira. Looks like a gay Billy Zane. And we did a deal for $30,000. $30,000 for 2 Bone records, my record, Lazy Bone record, Crazy Bone records, so 5, and Musa, Tupac's. He's kind of like Tupac's son, but he wasn't really his son. And he's actually Muta, Napoleon from the Outlaws.
Yeah, I remember Napoleon.
It's his real brother.
Okay.
And his name might not be Musa. I forget his name, but that's his brother. So I got him a deal, and we made $1 million, a little over $1 million. And Lazy, I can tell you, I was sitting in that excursion at my house up in Arizona, and the phone rings, and Lazy's like, "Hey, we're probably about to sign with Live Nation, and you know, you've done a good job, man, and would you pay for the licensing again? And I said what I paid. He goes, well, I'm gonna go ahead and have Live Nation give that money back to you, and I'm gonna. How do you tell somebody you love, fuck you, but make sure you get it across? And I went back to gangbanging at that. I was like, oh no, cuz I don't invest that kind of money just to get. No, you got to multiply that
times like, what the value is now
of what it will make.
Yeah,
I bought your licensing back.
Yeah, so basically you're getting ready. You're paying. I mean, that's a mailbox check.
First of the month, Crossroads, any song that their hits, I bought that back. They never saw a dime of Ghetto Cowboy, First of the Month, nothing. We Get Highs, nothing. So when I bought it back, they're now getting checks, and they could freely go sign because they were only locked in off of licensing. And I said no, and then I took over his ownership. We stayed together about 3 more years. And December 23rd, 2012, at the Kodak Theater, I got to the end of the song, Change Gonna Come, where I mention each member's name, and I say, this shit was fun, but what I look like gangbanging on the beach. Like, I'm grown now. And if anybody watched the Change Gonna Come video, at the end I just walk and I turn to the right. I'm supposed to turn the other way and go backstage, do an encore with Lazy Bone. I swear this on my life. I rode my motorcycle that day, and I walked to the back, went through the back door. Nobody saw me. Security saw me, and I jumped on my motorcycle, and that was the last time we saw each other, 2012. They get their royalty checks, and that's, you know. There'd been some fuckery where he tried to buy the label back by claiming. So if you ever pull up, it says Harmony House now.
Okay.
He wants to put Mo Thugs, that's fine, but I know who the checks come to.
Yeah.
So I bought it legally. I put money back. I mean, I'm talking when Lazy was living. I'll say this. Him and 9 kids and his wife were living in a hotel in Atlanta.
Damn.
And I gave him the money, and he moved into a mansion in Atlanta in less than. He was in that hotel for about 2 months. All you're living off is tour money.
Yeah. So you constantly got to be up there trying to you're killing yourself.
If you listen to New Edition, Ricky Bell, he says, we're a touring group. We have to tour. We're talking, they've been out for 30 years.
Wow.
So, yeah. So that was my transition in the music business.
There you have it, you guys. Big Herc and Big Caz getting down.
Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.